So today I wrote about Leonardo da Vinci. Actually, what I wrote about was just something Leonardo da Vinci represents, being a generalist. So we live in this world where everything is about specialization. The example I use in my blog post is doctors. So if you go into the medical field, you become a doctor. That's not the end of it. Once you're a doctor, they want you to specialize in something. So let's say that you specialize in heart care. Then when you're specializing in heart care, they want you to specialize to a specific thing within heart care. You might be a heart failure specialist or a cardiac rehabilitation specialist, or maybe just, I don't know, the left ventricle specialist. I don't know. I don't know much about this field. But the idea is you keep specializing down, you focus your energy on that, and you become the best at it. I'm reading a book right now called Range by David Epstein, and I've only really gotten through the introduction and a bit of the first chapter. I just started reading last night. Story in the opening introduction was about Tiger Woods and someone else. I'm not a sports guy, but it was about another sports guy, a tennis player. And but I do know Tiger Woods, and I know that he's the best golfer in the world, and the whole story revolved around how he was essentially born with a golf club in his hand, a very painful birth. His father leaned in on his kid's obvious love of the game of golf and trained him, taught him, and they focused from a very early age. And so those specialized hours resulted in who we know as Tiger Woods. There's a lot to recommend that. The other sports figure that I cannot remember at the moment was more of a generalist growing up. He was into any sport that involved a ball, and eventually he became the top tennis player in the world. They're both elites in their field, but they got there through different ways. But the argument has always been that specialization is the only real way to become excellent at something. And that's not entirely untrue. Generalists bring something new to the table. What I've focused on in my blog post was the idea that specializing can actually, create a problem. And that problem is the forest for the trees idea. The saying is, you're not seeing the forest for the trees. Now, there are people who have trouble with this saying, and I can kind of understand why. It's sort of a logic loop kind of thing. The general idea is that when you're studying one of the trees, or you're studying the trees themselves, you may not notice that there's an entire forest around you. And that's fine, except if that forest happens to be on fire, and now you're really in trouble. So this happens all the time in medicine. So the specialists are usually looking at a problem, and if they're looking at it through the lens of their specialty. So if you have a hammer, every problem becomes a nail. So if you're going around busily banging nails, you may not notice that there's some other problem going on. Maybe the structure of the house is rotting. Maybe there's a leaky pipe somewhere in the wall. Maybe the house is on fire. You're solving your specialized problem, but you're not paying attention to the broader scope of the whole thing. So that's what I focused on in the post. But the idea really is that being a generalist opens you up to exploring the broader picture, the bigger picture. Now, I also kind of come around on this and say that generalists aren't always the best at solving a problem because they don't look at the details. Now, that's me. I don't pay as much attention to detail as I should. I do look at the big picture. If I can discipline myself to look at the big picture and ask questions and look at all the specifics and be curious and get into the details, now I've got a much better approach. I want my doctor to be thinking about my whole body, not just one small piece of it that they've studied intensively. If I go to a heart doctor, I want him to know that certain other aspects of my health could influence the thing he's seeing on his heart monitor or his scans or whatever, and instead of opening me up and replacing my heart or doing something dramatic that I may not survive, maybe we can tweak this over here. Let's look at the diet. Let's look at exercise. Let's look at, you've got this other issue with another organ altogether, and it's causing this problem. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Dr. House is what I'm looking for. Really, the gist of this whole thing is it's okay to be a specialist. It's fine to be a specialist, but a generalist is going to usually have a broader palette to work from. You've got more resources. You've got more insight. If you're a generalist and you spent your early years going and exploring and asking questions and learning as many things as you could, checking out everything that interested you, and then eventually you come back around and discover, I want to specialize in this thing. Now you can specialize, but you've got that broader range of experience and information and knowledge to draw from. And that's just going to make you better. I think really what I'm recommending here is take a generalist approach, but be attentive to the details. And here's a detail you might be interested in. If you'd like to support me, you can do so by buying my books. Go to kevintumlinson.com/books. You see the little thing flash across the screen there. I did that on purpose. If you go there, you'll find all the books that I have available, and that's how I'm supporting myself. That's how I'm monetizing this channel. Really, that's what this is all about. It's all about the books. It's always all about the books. So go, find a book, read it, enjoy it, share it with friends, leave a review. These things help me as an author. It'll help me as a YouTuber, and well, I mean, hopefully it's something you really enjoy too. Reach out also. If you liked the book, you can reach me at kevintumlinson.com/contact. You can actually send me a note there or leave a comment in the comment section below this video. So thank you for all that. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. And tune in next time. We'll talk about something else.